So I'm Devon J, and I am the loudmouth brown girl of British Columbia. I got the name because I had a panic attack on an airplane coming home from a trip for CJSF radio. And I had the panic attack because I didn't want to come home. And the reason that I didn't want to come home is because while I was in Winnipeg, I had the worst experience that I'd ever had in this country. And given what I've been through, that's actually saying something. The difference in Winnipeg as opposed to BC was that I was alone. I didn't have a support system. I didn't know anybody in Winnipeg, and I didn't know where to go for help. I dealt with a lot of racism, and it was incredibly overt, and it wasn't something that I'd ever experienced before. A woman actually walked up to me and she said, "You're black." And I went, "Yes." And she went, "But you're black." And I walked away. And I walked away because she was telling me something that I already knew. And I had realized that she had probably never seen a black person in her entire life. So on the way home, and I had the panic attack, and I started thinking about all the things that I had been through in BC, which included cult rape, sexual rape, gang rape, torture, sexual abuse by teachers and priests and students. I did not want to be here. I didn't want to come home. I didn't want to live. I didn't want anything to do with humanity, specifically because I didn't want to have to deal with it all. When you're dealing with mental health and trauma, there's a lot of unpacking. There's a lot of acknowledging your anxieties and your depressions and where they come from, and going over and over and over the stories of what happened 1,000 times because you want to know all the answers to who and to why and to where. And I wasn't ready to deal with it. So when I got arrested, the cop called me a loudmouth brown bitch because I was screaming and I was angry. I was angry because I was being arrested for having a panic attack. I was angry because I was in a desperate situation and I needed help and nobody would give it to me. And instead they treated me like I was a criminal instead of somebody who needed help. And I don't think that that would have happened had I been white. So I looked at him and I told him that I was going to make it the most famous brand in the world. And I had no idea what that meant or what I was going to do with it. I came home and I went to my neighbors and I said, "Give me a joint." And she said, "You don't smoke weed." And I said, "Give me a joint." Actually, I was a little bit ruder than that, I think. And so she gave me some cannabis and I went home and I stayed stoned for 3 months. And then I created loudmouthbrowngirl.com. And I outed all of my rapists. I named names. I put up places. I talked about what happened, when happened, where it happened, how it happened, and I waited for the other shoe to drop. And it did. I got called a rat. I got death threats. I got told that I was not going to make it through the night. And then year 2 came, and I didn't know what I was going to do with the site because I didn't want to talk about trauma anymore. I had already expunged all of the things that I had been through and dealt with, and I needed something new to do, a new challenge. So I decided to take down all the old posts and use Loudmouth Brown Girl to do something positive. And now I use it to talk about my mental health and healing from my traumas, but I also use it to inspire others to believe that they can too. This year, I'm going to become a certified cannabis coach. I will be the first Black certified cannabis coach in Surrey, BC, and I'll be able to work with doctors and patients who are looking to get into the cannabis industry or who are looking to take cannabis for mental or spiritual or physical health reasons. I will be able to give talks, I will be able to work with patients one-on-one, and a whole bunch of brand new doors are opening simply because I decided that I didn't want to be in BC the way that I'd been before. So now I'm the Loudmouth Brown Girl, and I have a podcast called Stay Lifted. I'm going to be a cannabis coach, and literally every single thing that I have ever wanted to do with my life up to this point has come true because I came home and because I started dealing with all of my shit.